Hello, my name is Dennis Maberry and welcome to my newest instructional video. Today I'm going to be discussing a concept in playing odd time signatures. When listening to songs that are being played in odd time signatures, for the most part I can figure out what time signature it is. Many of the songs have like a straight pulse going through that you can hear the pulse and you can count it. Good example is Money by Pink Floyd. Bum bum ba da 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 da. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pretty easy to hear the 7. I know there's probably some belly dancers that watch some drumming videos. If you're not a belly dancer, you may not know this rhythm, but there's a rhythm called Karsalama that's in 9. Doom taka ta taka doom taka tuck 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 doom taka ta taka doom taka tuck tuck tuck. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Taka ta taka doom taka tuck 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 doom taka ta taka doom taka tuck tuck tuck. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. When I hear that rhythm, I can pretty much figure it because it's just doom taka ta taka doom taka tuck tuck tuck. But sometimes you'll listen to songs or rhythms, and when you hear it, it's kind of hard to figure out what the time signature it is because it could be counted in two different time signatures. For example, the rhythm that I was playing right before I started talking and when you started watching is a rhythm that I just created, kind of playing along. And it can be counted in a 5-beat pattern or a 10-beat pattern. And this question, I actually had this question for one of my instructors, my drum instructors. I was listening to a song by Jethro Tull, and when I was listening to it, I was hearing and counting it as a 10. A friend of mine, when he hears the song, he hears it and counts it as a 5. So I was talking to my drum instructor and said, what time signature is this song in? I'm counting it as a 10, he's counting it as a 5, which one is it? And the answer from my drum instructor was, it's the composer's, how he writes it and how he counts it when he's writing it. So I'm guessing Ian Anderson probably wrote the song, so if not, could have been somebody else, but whoever wrote it as a 10-beat rhythm or a 5-beat rhythm. It's up to whoever wrote it to decide whether it's in 5 or it's in 10. And if they're actually notating it, the notation would be different for each time signature. But if you're just creating the rhythm like I did, it's up to me if I want to figure out and count it as a 5 or count it as a 10. I'll show you the two different ways. May not be able to play it exactly because I just kind of created the rhythm on the fly. So I can count it as 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 5 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 5 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 5 E and a 1 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 5 E and a 1. But I could also take that same rhythm and go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9 and 10 and 1. So which one is it? Is it a 10 or is it a 5? Me, as the person that created the rhythm, composed the rhythm, I can decide that. So, I could call a group of people into play and say, hey, I've got this rhythm, we're going to play it, and it's in 5, and I could play it for them and count it in 5, and all of a sudden I've created a 5-beat rhythm. Or I could call that same group of people in and say, hey, I've created this rhythm, it's in 10, play it to them and count it in 10, and all of a sudden it's a 10-beat rhythm. So when it's not really defined and the pulse is not really defined, then it's really up to the composer and the creator of the music to determine which time signature it should be counted in. And like I said, I'm not writing the music down, so I'm just going to count it to whoever I'm teaching it to is either a 5 or a 10. If it's a composer, they're going to actually write it on notation, then the notation is going to be different for between a 5 and a 10. So hopefully that answers a question some people may have. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me through the comments page on my website, rhythmspirit.com. If you like these videos that I've been producing, Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you.